Hey there, folks. First, a warning. Everything I'm going to talk about today is going to come across as a massive ego trip. And I do not care. And if that bothers you, autofornicate. For my entire life, I've pretty much always been the smartest guy in the room. Not by trying, I am just naturally very intelligent. Being the smartest person in the room is not supposed to happen when you're a child. When you're a child, you're supposed to be around adults who are, smarter and wiser and know more than you. And that gives you a certain sense of security. You know that you can defer to them and they'll make good decisions on your behalf. And that sort of contains you. That becomes part of the walls of your world. But I was way too smart for my own good. I could see through the adults quite easily, frankly. I could think rings around them. I could just defy them anytime it struck me. It didn't strike me often, but it was generally quite memorable. I could just step out of the control anytime I felt like it. They didn't like that, obviously, especially teachers. Nobody in my childhood really knew how to handle me, so I kind of had to handle myself. This also meant that I did not experience much in the way of discipline. Luckily, I'm just a naturally well-behaved person. I don't have a lot of, impulses to wreck things or be disruptive. But still, it means that I didn't have a restraining hand, I guess you could say, to keep me from hurting myself. And I think that made me extremely cautious. Because if you're too young to really understand the world, then you don't know what's safe. You need a superior authority who can instruct you in what is and is not safe to do. You'll eventually outgrow that authority, but it needs to be there in the first place. So I think that contributed to me becoming extremely withdrawn and cautious to a fault, to put it mildly. And it means I didn't have the sources of security that other kids had. I didn't have, innocence. From an early age, I knew way too much. I mean, I've spent a lot of my life thinking, innocence is ignorance, and I wasn't really, I didn't really lose anything by seeing way more of the world than other kids did at way too young an age. But that's a lie. That was just me trying to turn a negative into a positive, I guess you could say. I think it really did hurt me. I think it hurt me terribly. It's a result of being sexually assaulted when I was 4 years old. So, not good. And that kind of threw open the doors of reality for me. Many other forms of harm. And so, yeah, from an early age, I knew that monsters were real and bad things can happen to innocent little children. And I think that made me both very cautious, but also deeply paranoid. I mean, I really felt like I was all alone in the world. And it was up to me to keep myself safe. And so I used what I had, which was, a high degree of intelligence. And I became hypervigilant. I became paranoid in a way. And my response to a world which seemed inherently hostile was to withdraw from it. Not an unreasonable response, actually. My IQ, my just natural level of intelligence, is through the fucking roof. And because of other factors, it left me feeling all alone in the world, like I'd been thrown to the wolves on my first day of first grade. And that really screws up your childhood. And that's just the start. Maybe I'll do another one of these where I talk about, being bullied and being unchallenged in school and all that. But I think I've gone on long enough today. So, I guess to sum up, being way smarter than the adults is not good for children. Trust me, I know. I guess that's all for me for today, folks. I will talk to you nice people again tomorrow. Bye-bye.